Yeah,
send
you
it.
can do.
Thank
You can do the.
Hey everyone, we are live as usual. We're not even remotely on time, and we're not even prepared because that's how we roll. I am your host, Steven. I swear it's a real last name, Staniszewski. I troll the heck out of people on Steam by Slave to Machine. I am joined by the usual bunch of crazies, and I'm gonna start right off with the Grand High Poobah, who had to grace us with his presence after skipping out a couple of episodes. That would be Fred, waving like an insane person. Fred, how you doing?
I'm actually supposed to talk. Yes, I'm doing good, Steven. Thanks for asking. Oh, you're feeling so kind to me today.
I'm really not. He's the fellow that started this whole mess, so if anything goes wrong, we can totally blame him.
There's a new mess, by the way, on the website. If you go on OPNoobs.com,
right.
There's a brand new mess. It's a brand new mess of stuff like we usually do. You're going to find game reviews, interviews, live shows. What else do we do? Editorial pieces, which have
That's
been...
a really good point. And I'm actually going to throw it to the second in command, the VP, Catbug Kellogg. Catbug. So, that being said, Catbug, since you're so fantastic with the pitches, what do we have on the new OPN website?
Well, we have a number of things. We've got op-eds, in case you haven't seen them yet. I think those went live about a week ago. We've had a number of really good op-eds. I'd like to give a shout-out to some of our writers. Our very own Robert Kelly, who's here right now, has written some op-eds. Allison, who's new tonight, she has written some op-eds. I also want to give a shout-out to Gwendolyn, a.k.a. Articulate Madness, who was supposed to be on the call tonight, but we had technical issues, but she's another fantastic one of our new op-ed writers. So shout out to her as well, and we do apologize, Gwendolyn. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Just want to say congratulations, Dynamax. That is an amazing looking layout.
It's almost like it was made by someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost is.
Kellogg, what else we got on the site? We don't do just op-eds. We do other stuff as well. What else do we do?
Well, aside from the usual reviews, podcasts, and typical video nonsense like tonight that we post regularly, we also have an upcoming tournament this weekend. It's the Red Solstice Community Tournament. We're going to be broadcasting that for 6 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday. It's going to be awesome. It's our first community tournament ever. We've got our very own Steven Staniszewski, the host of this show, will be commentating. Myself and Fred will be running around in the background, possibly on camera, possibly off camera. And you'll see a very large cast of characters in general pitching in on that. But we got 8 teams. We got an awesome tournament bracket. Ironward's going to be on the scene. It's going to be a really fun time. I think it's going to be a really unique event, so I hope all of you are there.
It's even hosted by Steven.
It is. It's right. Almost like he just said that, too. So let's move on to the rest of the
I just wanted to emphasize, we're going to get to your face the whole weekend on Twitch.
This is entirely
It's not something we get every week, Steven.
I'm going to need so much liquor for this weekend. It's not funny. Speaking of liquor,
we should
there's
talk
no
about
way I can say that. Eli, man with the beard and all the booze. We're going to start with one of the writers. Eli, how you doing?
Webcam.
I'm doing pretty good. Given that I just ate before this, the amount of booze that I've had, which is quite a bit, is not affecting me yet. So
not yet. So basically, you'll stay silent like you do. Your entire fan club of like 7 people that watches, they come on and they always wait for you to stay really silent for about 8 trailers, and then you just launch into the most profound thought that we have ever heard, to the point where we are in awe. We hit nirvana after you speak in many cases.
I must take the time to think of something good to say.
You must. Fred, we're not at that point yet. I still need to introduce more people. We lost Allison temporarily, it looks like.
It's an opportunity for me to just slide in.
And the time clock is ticking.
We're going to go straight to the next one, the pillar of the community.
We completely lost her.
We did completely lose her. She'll come back, we swear. But in the meantime, we have our stand-in, our pillar, the reason that we all stick around, Caitlin, who is wearing a fetching shade of Papa Smurf blue.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Oh, that's all we're going to get.
Small
Yeah,
that's
I'm
all.
back.
Hey, Allison. I should mention that. We have a new face.
Back.
We have a new face on this show tonight, as you can tell. I swear we're only going to have 2 more people to introduce. Allison, who just recently wrote an awesome editorial on the site. You can see that at OPNoobs.com. Allison, hi. Are you regretting your choices in life yet?
I'm drinking my way through it. It's all right.
You have your customary liquor, right?
Absolutely. I'm good.
Awesome. Speaking of liquor, again, R. Kelly, one of our most prolific. Wait, that's the wrong one. One of our most prolific artists on the team. He has done an amazing job at just mainlining whatever it is that you're imbibing, going through 26 reviews in a matter of, a couple of weeks? What are you doing?
Well, I'm unemployed. So, time is
just like the
open
real
all the time. Yeah, he's not unemployed. He's doing much better than I am.
I talk to him a lot during the day.
God
Do you?
We chat from time to time about important things like gifts and not safe for work content.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yep.
There really should
see everything.
There really should be a not safe for work tag on this whole thing. And finally, the only one with any actual decorum of this team, Paris, our wonderful editor-in-chief. If it's written and it's on the site, he's stared at it and cried before it gets published. Paris, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful, Stephen, and hello, viewers. Welcome to Looking at Me, the great capital of France. Behold my glorious. I have an excellent date spot. Just bring your significant other. It'll be a good time.
It'll be a good time. I love that pitch for Paris. Like, just go to Paris. It's a good time.
I am the prince.
Paris really is glorious, and more people should go to Paris. Really,
it's true.
We should be honest. Everybody's leaving the show and coming back.
It's like music. One guy gets up, another guy leaves.
It's like we have guard duty going on right now. Anyway, we're going to get right into it. What's this show about? What's the title about? The real short version is there's a lot of good stuff on Steam, a lot of bad stuff on Steam. We take the best and the worst that we can possibly find in the week of new releases, betas, alphas, and games that probably should still be beta and alpha, and we go through the trailers, each one at a time, giving our opinions, some background history on the game, and some background history on the devs, if we can find it. We had a lot of fun this time. So what's going to happen is Catbug, is going to read the game description, and then Eli, if the booze hasn't hit you yet, it will soon, but we'll have you read the... No, you know what? Forget you. Caitlin, it's been a while. Do you want to read the
Good
developer description?
Good call.
Because I know at some point Eli's just going to be... We should save Eli. He's like the phone a friend on Millionaire. You want to call him when necessary.
Don't trust Eli.
We trust
Okay,
I
then.
trust Eli. That's okay.
I trust
Whatever
Eli.
works. I can
trust
read it if you
Eli.
want, or she can read it. I don't care.
You know what
Let's
the funny thing is, we could all be stranded in the middle of nowhere. I feel like Eli would be the only one to survive.
probably.
Can I just call something, Steven? I've been trying to speak for the past 5 minutes.
What? Yes.
Okay, I think number one, we should really strive. We should tonight. I think we should really strive to have a very political, engaging, and yet divisive debate.
No.
Why? When you've got your own show for that.
No, that sounds silly. Decisive debate. I don't even know what those words mean.
Yeah,
No, divisive, like the division.
we'll have divisive debates. I guarantee.
Of course.
Don't you?
Just find a way to bring up the division.
Number
That's
two,
one.
yeah, can't wait. Exactly.
That's number one. You're gonna bring it up 2 more times.
Actually, it's just the number 1.5 is why am I on the bottom of the screen? And number 2, there is a serious. I'm actually writing my very first op-ed for the website, and it's one I'm excited about because I think, and we kind of had a podcast like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago about it, and it was Shane who commented on it and talked about the MMO revolution that is the Division. And you know, at the time I had just
did not make it tonight. Our executive producer and all that fun stuff. He could not be here. He usually is. Carry on.
And at the time I had just started to dig into the game. I was level 14, far from capping, and I capped. I think it was last week, maybe 10 days ago now. And the past 10 days, I have felt at the deep core inside of me that MMO revolution that Shane was talking about. Now, I don't know, and here's the big thing, like, I don't know if it's indicative of a great future for the division. It might very well not be. But okay. I definitely see the potential with enough content moving forward. This is the modernization of World of Warcraft in many ways, in more ways than one. In a fast-paced, more modern, active, very FPS-ish approach to game development, and it's freaking fantastic. It's a great feeling to get into those dungeons. I mean, Shane was referring to instances, the missions, the dailies, as dungeons because, yeah, they feel that way. They're like the dungeons you used to storm into. Wow, suddenly you've got 4 guys, except it's with grenades, submachine guns. It's super well executed as far as gameplay goes, and it's just the whole RPG element behind it, and just the crafting, all of that stuff is superb. I am floored by the division, and nobody in the PC game. I think a lot of people in the PC gaming community feel that way, and very few in the PC gaming community expected that it would have that impact. And yes, I recall again December of last year when we very much looked at the game as one for or lesser counterparts, the console gamers.
So, first off, let me just say it's always a joy to have Fred on this show because not only is he the human personification of a rickroll, because we start to talk about something and then we get derailed. Secondly,
a good thought, Bo.
Let me tell you why you're wrong. It mostly boils down to anything with Tom Clancy's name attached to it is a guaranteed piece of crap.
Don't put it.
And I'm going to put it that way simply because, look, the man is dead. Let him die. The last time they did something good, it was called Rainbow Six, and it was back in the mid-2000s.
That's the name of the game is put together by people who are completely disconnected from the actual crafting aspect of it.
It's put out by Ubisoft. That is indeed correct, Fred. The truth of the matter is that's not why we're here to talk about this, but we'll get back to it. And Stylo is actually right. Rainbow Six Siege is good, but I preferred it when it was last called, what, SWAT? Back in the early 2000s, but hey, whatever, we got a list. Caitlin's already putting on a cloak so she can get the heck out of here. Let's get this going, shall we? The first game on this list is in space, and people that have watched the show know I love space so dearly. It is a game called Pollen. Stylo, if you could. But Fred, we will get back to your thought. I promise.
You liked it, didn't you?
I did, but let's get to Pollen.
All right. So our game description for Pollen is, in an alternate timeline of history where the Kennedy assassination failed and the internet was never invented, the space race continued to boom as the Soviet and U.S. programs combined their efforts to conquer the vast mineral-rich expanse beyond Earth. Handing their findings over to private companies, governments gave way to corporations who would soon establish mining and research colonies all over the solar system. Owned by one such conglomerate, Station M is a recently built research base of Rama Industries on the Saturn's largest moon, Titan. A member of Rama Industries' research team has mysteriously disappeared. As a reserve employee of Rama, you are sent to the windswept surface of Titan to investigate. With a large lunar storm looming on the horizon, you have no choice but to enter the base in search of answers. Over to you, Kate.
Tell us about this, Caitlin. With your mic unmuted, please.
Mindfield Games is a 15-person company from Helsinki, Finland, and at its inception, it was the first dedicated virtual reality development studio in the country. The team consists entirely of industry professionals with a background in PC, console, and mobile game development. With previous experience from companies such as Remedy, Rovio, Housemarque, and RedLynx/Ubisoft, we joined forces to create immersive worlds that only virtual reality allows for.
Oh, hi, Subnautica. Oh, hi, Rust. Oh, hi. Okay, I'm just going to say this real quick. If Fred can derail, I'm going to be Amtrak as well. I'm sick of survival RPGs. I'm really sick of them. That's as far as I'm going to go. So, that being said, based upon the trailer, what are our thoughts of this thing, Chris?
I'm glad you asked. So it's yeah, I hear what you're saying about the survival aspect. Although it's not that common to do the survival space genre. I know space is very popular, and obviously survival is very popular, but those two haven't been, cross-pollinated as much. But
I see what you did.
That's right, and there's also bees. Also, it said that it would support Oculus, and I think that this game looks really good, and I imagine this is going to be really fun to play in Oculus. That said, I just found out today that my pre-order was pushed back 2 months. So anyone that pre-ordered an Oculus, now the release has been pushed back till May. It's supposed to be April, and I was supposed to get mine in the middle of April, and now I'm not getting mine until the middle of June. So I'd love to play this game in Oculus, and I'd love to enjoy this experience, except I won't have one for like 3 months. So I think that this game will come out, and then reviews will come out, and I'll still be waiting for my Oculus to show up. So I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about that.
our esteemed president and CEO, folks, just flashed the loser sign.
Sorry.
We're a happy bunch of people. Okay, I should mention that at first when I saw this trailer, I thought, oh, it's Oculus only, because there has been a serious push toward Oculus only games. In fact, Steam Justice has
Did it?
True. VR only, I should say. VR only games. However,
you know what that is, right?
It's optimized for Oculus.
No, it's because they say that it's a lot of PR crap. You know why it's not coming out on PC? Because nobody would play them on PC, because VR is not...
It is coming out on PC.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's this is a small development, guys. This is not a multi-million-dollar project, right? So there's tons of games like that from indie studios that come out on Steam that has its own small communities, and if they can make an extra buck by selling it on Steam, but they're not expecting anything out of Steam. The reason the games, I'm just talking specifically about the reason why they call it optimized for the Oculus.
Yeah,
it's not optimized for the Oculus.
It's
it
like
means
those,
that fucking PC gamers with Titans on in their rig would not touch this with a pole stick to say.
I don't know. See, I look at this. I've played a lot of Oculus games, and I look at this and I say this is one of the more compelling games I've seen. I mean, you have to understand, Oculus is such in its infancy that to even see a slightly developed game is compelling. And the launch titles for the HTC Vive that Valve made are like pretty fucking bad. So we're like anything that looks unique and good for Oculus right now is a better thing than where we're currently sitting, and that really speaks to just how bad Oculus games are.
And
right
the game may be good, but
the
PR on this thing is just awful. Even the woman that comes out, it's awful. It's exactly what she's exactly what I don't want VR to be marketed as.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because I was all for the trailer. Because we have to talk about the trailer, folks. That's the point. I was all for the trailer until they pulled away to show her. And as someone that has a plush Master Ball over their shoulder, do you want to look that dorky? Seriously? So, Eli, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I think Fred is way too angry about this. I mean,
well, he's mad because his Titan rig can't run anything optimized.
And he's afraid to look silly in front of his wife wearing an Oculus.
That too. I understand both of those points. I thought about that when I started to put my hand up. That's part of why I wanted to, talk about this one. I think because Fred seems to hate it so much, we should absolutely try to do something with it.
Okay, we have
such a narrow argument.
We have.
I don't care.
Against that.
Good enough.
Caitlin, save us. Be the voice of reason.
I am trying to evaluate this as a potential game here, and I don't understand what I'm looking at. Okay, is this supposed to be a survival/walking simulator from the point of view of a bee? What on earth is this? Number one. And number two, yeah, I do think them showing the girl on the Oculus was really tacky. But it doesn't tell me anything about the game, like what the object even is. I think it's a walking simulator as a bee. That's all I can get out of this trailer.
So wouldn't it be less of a walking simulator and more of a floating simulator? Kelly.
Well, yeah, bees don't have feet.
What is your opinion of this trailer?
This is of the trailer?
Yes.
I wouldn't play this.
Okay.
Because
specific reason?
Yes. Okay. one, because I had to bring up the fact also that at the end of the trailer, like it zooms out to the girl playing, and I'm a little confused because if you look in the room, there's like the Slave One, like Boba Fett's ship, and there's all these other like iconic toys, and I'm kind of thinking like, what are you trying to say with that pan out? And then secondly, like I don't even fully understand from this trailer like what you're supposed to do in the game. Are you supposed to? You're supposed to like save the person that got taken.
I get the sense
my
point is done by a killer African
kind of like blah and boring.
Yeah. Okay.
And this being Oculus Rift doesn't make it any better.
Agreed. Allison, as the new voice, we're going to go to you, and then we're going to move forward to the next one.
I also kind of it lost me whenever it had the girl playing with the Oculus Rift. It seemed very cheesy to me. I became enraptured with the bee, and then I sort of like fell off with the girl with the Oculus Rift, and then when it started zooming out again, I was like, okay, maybe. I mean, I don't think I'd purchase this game, but if it was at a buddy's house or something, I'd probably play it. But I don't know if the marketing really goes. I don't think it reaches out enough to be able to really want it that badly.
Okay, so we've got one hate vote and for yes, and it sounds like the rest of them are no. Guys, down in the chat, the whole point of this show, just so you know, in case you missed it, is to vote and decide what goes on the site, which can be found at OPNoobs.com. Check it out. So, that being said, I have one real quick question. Paris, would you actually want to edit this review?
That would be my answer right there. That just the two just before.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think that's a bullet point on the box.
Yeah, no, the appeal of it seems like if it does turn out to be good, it'll be something about the atmosphere and the graphics. Because otherwise, you know, like the VR, you get to be put somewhere by there, but
I think that's fair. Fred, I regret that I'm
no.
It's
actually just a quick note about the purpose of the show. I think it's just we don't ask like us giving our opinions of the actual trailer is not us weighing in on whether or not we should review the game. And I really want to emphasize that because my entire criticism of this game actually says I think we should review this game. Like I think I look at this and I think first of all I think a lot of the guys and the ladies on the writing department would probably pick the game, and I think we should always take that into consideration. And I think I would like to see a good writer tackle that and down it if it needs to be downed. I think if anything, this conversation has been pretty interesting. If not, maybe not divided, but very interesting. I think we're like emotions are coming out as we watch this stuff. We're not entirely indifferent, are we? So I think we should review this, and I urge you guys to vote with me that we should put this on the list this week.
Well, that's a heartfelt opinion, although, again, the fact is we pick 6 games out of the list and we go from there. So it needs to be 6 really good games.
Also, someone needs to have an Oculus Rift, I feel like, to properly vet this one. And
that's the other
problem. I'm the only one even on a waiting
list. That's a fair point.
Say, Fred, you get me the Oculus Rift, dude, I'm all over this. I'll be in my room
expected by Tuesday.
Trying to whatever.
You got one by Tuesday.
Save the beat.
Well, I have a DK too.
So wait, Eli.
Again, that's the problem. I
sold mine for more money than I bought it for.
We've seen so many of these walking type simulators, Fred, and I agree with you to a point. But again, here's why.
I just say that
in order to get the full experience, you have to have the hardware.
I said that not just it's not something to consider just for this trailer. It's something to consider moving forward.
I actually have a consideration to think about, like the VR in general. And so you guys remember when like IMAX really came out, how they had all the domed theaters with the speakers behind the domes, if anyone went to one of those IMAXs?
The good IMAX, yeah.
And they were crap.
Yeah, so does everyone remember them being horrible before they figured out how to work the technology a little bit better, put it on a flat screen, and then they were able to apply like 3D effects and everything else after that. I think right now we are seeing the beginning of VR, and so we are going to see a lot of games like this where instead of it being focused on kind of action or survival,
that could be a death sentence.
This looks more atmospheric, and I think that this is the next movement in video games, but I'm just saying we're like seeing the first implementations of it.
Right, almost like pilots.
Yeah.
The problem is no matter what, it's not going to die. And I hate VR. I'm going to go on record right now. I hate VR. I think it's dumb.
Give me a good game and I'll be convinced.
I don't think it even needs to be a thing because there's two... PC gaming is already sort of, kind of, not really expensive, but sort of, kind of. You do have to have a decent rig to do it. I just feel like it's just a technology that marginalizes an already fractured fan base or an already fractured player base.
Yeah, until they get it to...
Yeah, but you don't know what's coming. Right. You still don't know what it is.
Until they make it cheaper, though.
That's right, and we've got more coming, so we're going to skip past this one. We're going to go to the next one. Stylo, if you could. MegaMagic, Wizards of the Neon Age. Oh, it's going to be 80s, isn't it? Tell us about this, Kellogg.
All right. MegaMagic, Wizards of the Neon Age. Prepare to delve into a fascinating world where the forces of technology and magic are embroiled in a vicious struggle. Blurring the lines between RPG and strategy genre, MegaMagic recaptures the unmistakable flavor of the 80s in a game filled with pop culture references and magnified by the incredible music by Mitch Murder, composer of Kung Fury and Hotline Miami 2 soundtracks. Kung Fury was awesome.
So is Hotline Miami 2.
Yeah. Well, there's another paragraph here. MegaMagic features a deep combat system that puts 5 different schools of magic at your command, challenging you to unveil the secrets hidden in a monster-infested wastelands, neon-bathed cities, and shady dungeons alike. Learn new spells and summon the creatures you have beaten, leading a powerful army of Grims on your own style. You will need to rely on your ever-growing grimoire, developing your own playstyles. You become the greatest wizard in the world and the last hope to discover what the sacred institution of the Order is hiding behind their unsullied facade. Wow.
How much do you think this goes for on Steam?
$300 million. Caitlin, what do we know about the developer?
Made by BeautiFun Games. That is all we know.
That's all I could find.
Wow. Okay.
Thank you, Kaylin, for reading it.
So I did find a little bit more information. Before we went live. They're indie game developers since 2011. Check out our award-winning game. Yeah, okay, so that's all we know. That's literally lifted from their Twitter. That's it. That's all we got. Okay, so it's a small team. It's an 80s-themed Shadowrun style game, which I love the living hell out of, and that alone is more than enough for me to say yes, because 80s plus Kung Fury is awesome. Can we just all have an amen for Kung Fury? Yeah, awesome. All right. Amen. Thank you. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna down it a little bit. Are we not sick of the 80s yet? Is it just anything 80s is always gonna get reviewed? What makes this thing stand out? I mean, strategy RPGs are not all that popular as they once were. Why should we or why shouldn't we? Kelly.
I think that I would review this game and play it because, like you, Steven, I kind of like the whole cyberpunk Shadowrun-y genre. Tactical RPGs are one of my favorites. Always. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite games ever made, ever. And this just looks kind of like inventive. Thank you. It looks like a kind of more real-time strategy added into this like cyberpunk element or aspect, and that just kind of looks terrific. I love the free-flowing characters and enemies. I like how it's giving you the examples of missions that you're doing. You have to run through cyberspace to talk to crazy people, summon dogs in front of you. That all looks incredible.
Happens all the time. Caitlin.
Okay, this is awesome. Who the heck doesn't want to be the best wizard in the world? Okay, even if it is the Neon Age, I don't even care. It's a guy running around. Look at that. Like I don't know if it's an open world, but it sure looks open, and it looks polished to me. I mean, it's not like in 3D, but at the same time, that top down, it doesn't look like a Diablo clone. And We don't often see non-Diablo clones on
We
this
don't
show.
often see non-clones, come to think of it. Kellogg.
You know, it's when you mentioned that the makers of Kung Fury were, or I guess when I mentioned it, the makers of Kung Fury had been involved with this. That made me like it more, and you know that's got a super 80s vibe too. And you know, obviously retro is very cool and very chic right now to do, but it can be done well and it can be done poorly, but then it can also be done like extraordinarily well. And this looks like one of those titles that just like takes it all the way to the end, like the possible, like furthest possible logical conclusion, kind of like what, you know, Kung Fury did. And so if this is inspired by that, then I'd believe that I'd like to believe that this is going to be an awesome title, and I would totally play it, and that a lot of people should play it. Awesome. Because Kung Fury is awesome.
Also, by the way, in case anybody's wondering what the giveaway is today, it's parts of Eli's beard. Speaking of, Eli, what are your thoughts on this 80s soaked? Yeah, on this 80s soaked booze fest that we've got going on here?
Well, while I was a really big fan of Kung Fury, I'm generally not really into the 80s vibe. It's never appealed to me, so I don't know. I don't see a lot of reason to be into this one myself.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, that being said, what is it about the 80s thing that does not appeal to you? I'm just curious. Because it seems like the old people on the call are sold, and everybody else not so much.
Okay, I'm not the oldest person here. I'm not saying I am, but I am one of the old people on this call. Honestly, like I've never been a fan of the 80s. Like there are certain things from the 80s that I liked, but for the most part, no. Just no.
Even though it gave us so many great games and, you know,
it also gave us
music.
It also gave us a lot of absolute crap. And
but it
I'm
gave
not
us
a fan
the
of
Flock
crap.
of Seagulls haircut. How can you say no to that?
Because I never had the Flock of Seagulls haircut.
You should try it. I mean, genuinely try it. I mean, Fred had a faux hawk at one point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I believe that.
No, never. Fred, what is your thoughts as one of the eldest on this call? I mean, I'm probably older than you, but what is your thought? We've seen a lot of 80s style games. We've even reviewed a few on OPNoobs.com, mostly Hotline Miami series. What is your thought on the 80s vibe being used? Is it being overdone?
No, I don't think so. No.
Not at all?
No, I think, dude, look, this looks polished. This looks well done. I'm all for it. So I really don't have I don't have a strong opinion on it. It's not the type of game I would play, but this looks good. It looks great. Well done.
Is there any legitimacy to what Caitlin was saying about comparing it to Diablo, maybe?
No, I don't see that. I don't see that. Okay. Diablo is Inferno, man. Like Diablo is just in your face. This doesn't look like a game that's in your face.
But I think she was saying it specifically didn't look like Diablo.
Right? Yeah.
That's why she liked it.
But that is something I would love in a parenthesis. I would love to have dev talk on this. That would be great.
I think we should, honestly. I'd love to know more about the background behind this. Allison, as the new person, what are your thoughts, and then we'll move forward.
Well, like I think everybody else in the world, I thought Kung Fury was fantastic, and I am a huge fan of the 80s and everything 80s aesthetic. I love the colors in this and the artistry. But most importantly, I think that the gameplay, it just looks like a genuinely fun game to play. I like the summoning. I like anything that has to do with being a mage or a wizard. And if it sort of has like that sci-fi feel to it as well, even better.
That's fair. All right. So we're going to move on to the next one. So we go from one strategy game to another strategy game made by, honestly, probably the most well-known developer of strategy games, and Fred's gone, so we can talk. The next game is Battlefleet Gothic Armada. Chris, tell us.
All right. Armada is the RTS video game adaptation of Games Workshop's classic tabletop game, pitting the Chaos, Imperium, Eldar, and Orcs against each other in visceral space battles. And in case you didn't know what that classic tabletop game was, it's Warhammer. Developed with the Unreal 4 engine. Unreal Engine 4, Battlefleet Gothic Armada offers deep management of every ship composing the player's fleet, both during and between battles. From the fastest frigates to the gigantic miles-long battleships, the player will customize all aspects of his ships, weaponry, defense, and support subsystems, but also crew, captains, and more. Each customization affecting the very performances of the ship and the special abilities available during battle. From battle to battle, the admirals and crew of surviving ships will gain experience and promotions, improving the battle readiness of the ships for future, bigger, and more dangerous battles.
Holy crap, this is longer than the trailer.
And I'm just going to leave it at that.
No. That's I have a couple of nasty things to say, but I'm going to hold back. Tell us about the developer, Caitlin.
Tindalos Interactive is an independent video game studio located in Paris and created in May 2010. We are specialized in PC games, but also in the rendering and compositing of 3D images. Our objective is to develop gamers-oriented games with great graphics quality and to take special care to innovate with our new gameplay mechanics. Our first game, Stellar Impact, a sci-fi MOBA, was published by Head Up Games and is available. Our second game, Ethereum, a sci-fi RTS, was published in by Focus Home Interactive and is available through Steam. We are currently working on Battlefleet Gothic Armada, a space battle game set in Games Workshop's Warhammer 40k universe.
Okay, Paris, your hand went up first.
Okay, look, the ships look all right. They look fine for whatever this is, and such, but what is up with having the setting in space where apparently you could go in endless directions and having this slow-moving, two-dimensional battle where like everyone is on the same playing field and just slowly moving towards each other like gun-filled tortoises?
Didn't you hear that the universe was flat? It's completely.
Oh wow, is that the new joke?
I love it when Paris drops one on a game. By the way, go ahead, keep going, Paris.
You know,
keep going.
It's so rare, and I think I'm gonna agree with him on this one. Go ahead, Paris. Go.
The last one was that Minecraft flag. Remember that one? The last one, he dropped the giant one. On the Minecraft-looking one, he dropped the giant one. Okay, go, Paris, go.
No, that's pretty much it for like.
Go. No, I'm done. It's okay. Okay, so as somebody that played Warhammer, likes what Games Workshop does, I have some miniatures over there.
But I am talking about the tabletop, not the games, right?
That's right. Yeah. I am so sick of seeing Warhammer games. I'm sick of them. We have enough. Do we need more? Why? I love Warhammer, don't get me wrong, but this is nuts. It looks like StarCraft with a reskin. Look at that interface, for God's sake. It looks like StarCraft 2. I mean, am I crazy? Eli, you're not a fan of these any more than I am, are you?
No, I am sick of seeing Warhammer games pop up. It feels like we see a new one almost every week. And I'm like, God damn, just stop making them already.
Fair enough.
So many games, like in one franchise. Like I haven't even seen Mario games this plentiful. Like I don't understand how they do it. Like,
I don't know about that.
Robert certainly wasn't subtle.
No, what was that sign again? Can you flash that for us?
If it's not backwards, it might be.
Nice. So you also asked where your Marvel HeroClix game is. That's a good question.
Seriously. Man, you can. I don't play Marvel HeroClix anymore, but I did love the game when I was younger, and I keep seeing these Warhammer games, and I'm like, man, people still play like other board top games. Why can't we see a video game made of one of those? Why isn't there like an Ascension video game yet? If anybody's played like that board game, that's another good one. Or a better Settlers of Catan. Why don't people dive into that? Instead, we're seeing Warhammer. I'm just going to call this number 27 because the title is pointless.
I think you're correct. I think it's like 35 or something like that.
This is like virtually no different from the last Warhammer trailer we saw, except that there's more explosions. They Michael Bay'd it. Or some might say Zack Snyder'd it now.
Hey, we're not going to mention that man's name on the show. Kellogg, and then if Fred has a thought on this one, because I can see that he's thinking.
Mine's a small one, and then I wanted to agree with the small comment you made, Steven, is that this looks like StarCraft 2. Like, it's like they stole the interface from StarCraft 2. Some of the icons in the bottom right-hand corner literally look like the same ones in StarCraft 2. Like, the interface is StarCraft 2's interface. And they're clearly encroaching on the space RTS genre. And I feel like they're not even doing a very good job at that. And, you know, I know that some Warhammer games, like some of them are well-reviewed, other people like them. And they tend to be a little more unique. But this one is starting to look so much like StarCraft that I think that Warhammer is just like grabbing onto other games and stealing their ideas, because after version 27, you run out of like unique ideas.
I think that's fair. So, as the Colmes to my Hannity, Fred.
Yeah, so
I'm wrong.
Again, guys, I agree with everything that's been said. Actually, I think pretty on point with the whole message here. But this is PC, man. Like, we should cover this. This is PC gaming, and it doesn't mean it's probably gonna be as bad as everybody. Like 4-bit. You know what I'm trying to say.
I only laughed because my first thought was like, oh, well, then we'll just review that Samantha Brown oatmeal game.
I'm just saying, like, every time you give your thought on a game, it's a PC
game.
You should always draw a line and then either say, I think we should cover this, or I don't think we should cover it, and we have to do that. Like, I think it's as bad as everybody anticipates, and I will add what everybody else is supposed to add. I think we should cover it.
See, Fred, the disparity in your arguments is a little bit disturbing at times.
No, because it's not because it looks that we're not feeling optimistic about this game. Nobody is. But we should cover this based on being a PC gaming site. We should cover this.
I mean, you make a good point that if there are other games in this list that we might otherwise reject, this is. I mean,
like, this is somebody like who truly loves. This is a studio who you know the guys against, like, always separate the developers from like the money people. Like, these are StarCraft fans. We should cover it.
It's true.
Okay,
well, and also I think this might be a small developer too. It sounds like they're only on their third game. So even though they've got a big IP, they're still small, I think.
So, but this is a fair point. When it comes down to the traditionalist, because of all the people here, Fred is the Trump of the PC gamer.
It's true. I'm a conservative. Actually, to bring it back to the conversation on VR. No, it's because it's interesting you just mentioned that, because I was thinking about it during the VR talk.
You're going to build a wall around games?
The VR, like, the problem, my problem with VR connects to my problem with this. It's, there are conservative people out there like me who really kind of like all of my emotions on VR speak against the product, like it's completely undivided inside of me. I don't want this product to succeed. And yet at the same time, I completely realize that maybe it needs to succeed. Maybe it's just called modernization of our industry, and maybe that's where it needs to go. And yet the conservative in me says no. And this is the same thing. Like, I think even if this is going to be crap, the conservative PC gamer in me says yes, we should cover this. It is our responsibility.
Okay, that's fair. It is a fair argument where we get a lot of mobile ports. We got a lot of iPad games, a lot of iPhone games that get pushed over to the Steam platform. Some of them are fine, some of them not. But at its core, are they actually PC games just because they're on the PC platform? The fact of the matter is, when it comes to this, I can just feel that there are other PC games that did it better. And StarCraft did it better. And
of course,
as
nobody
an
denies
admitted
that.
Blizzard fanboy, why should we give any kind of spotlight to a developer that apparently took assets from Blizzard and threw it into their game? It cannot be just convenience. Yeah, but other RTSs don't have UIs that look exactly like
RTS nowadays is a big topic. It's a big important topic. It's relevant because people are wondering what's up with the genre. Like, what's happening? Like, is it dying? Is it searching itself? Are we finding elements from the indie scene that can be picked up? Like, all that this game has the potential of having some elements of all that. incorporated
I
into
can
it.
see where your point is. Now, Fred, I have to distract you because your awesome favorite question just got asked in the chat. OPNoobs Online, are you going to allow other donation methods besides PayPal, PaySafeCard, etc.? Chris, can we talk about if somebody wants to throw us money?
It's very nice, Emma Bun, and we definitely
do a lot of
appreciate it.
stuff.
It's Patreon.
Yes, absolutely. We have a Patreon. We would love
we all stop for Emma Bun. Emma Bun, we love you.
Yes, I know. It's so rare.
A real quick plug. Go for it.
Yes, we do have a Patreon. I'm trying to find the link right now. Oh, here it is. I found it.
We are so together, guys.
No, I don't memorize our Patreon link. I'm sorry, but I do have it right here. Sent it through Twitch chat. All of you, please donate to our Patreon. Man, could we use your money? You've no idea how much we could use your money.
Why don't we just do the PBS thing where we just hold people ransom? Can we do
that?
that?
We need to do some kind of marathon of like all of the past Should We Cover It shows and then interrupt them periodically. Just say, hey, by the way, you love those shows. Donate now for our next show.
That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, getting back on track here. Again, everything that you see on the site is community run, community driven. All the reviews, everybody you see on this call right now, they were viewers at one point. They decided to submit stuff to the site. They decided to make Paris have a drinking problem and have him read their stuff. And then it got on the site. I still have a drinking problem because I'm almost out of liquor.
The content's never been better than it has, honestly. Like, thank you to all the writers. If you guys are on the channel, thank you to everybody who really keeps us together and really refining the product. Like, we're a great read, and it's all thanks to you. No, it's true. We're a great read.
Anyway, we're going to move on to the next one that looks really, 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 really similar to XCOM. Halcyon 6, Starbase Commander. Oh, giants in space again.
Yeah. Space
Chris, tell us about
Halcyon 6, Starbase Commander. All right, this is another long one, so bear with me. On the edge of Terran space lies Halcyon 6, a derelict starbase left behind by a mysterious precursor race. Your mission is to reclaim the derelict station and rebuild it. A mysterious alien force is making a beeline towards Earth, and this starbase is the best chance for the new Terran Federation to establish new alliances, research new technologies, and otherwise figure out a way to stop the impending invasion. Using only the resources you can salvage from the derelict station and gathered from nearby star systems, it's up to you to rebuild the starbase to lead the Terran Republic's scientific research, exploration, and diplomatic efforts on the edge of known space. Halcyon 6 is a passive project whose design is inspired by our years spent playing classic games like Star Control, Master of Orion, XCOM, Civilization, and new classics like FTL. I love FTL and most of those other games listed.
That's why he listed it.
I know.
Yeah, it almost looks like it, you know. Caitlin, tell us about this while Chris catches his breath.
In the spring of 2015, Massive Damage ran a very successful Kickstarter campaign for their upcoming game Halcyon 6, Starbase Commander. After raising $187,000 on a modest $40,000 funding goal, they set to building their passion product. A year later, they are set to unleash Halcyon 6, Starbase Commander, on Steam under the Early Access program.
Okay, so we are in space. We are in space again.
More space.
I will admit something. I was never a huge fan of FTL, but I loved the art style. And yeah, that's an obvious.
I got to throw down right now.
Yeah, get out of here.
Sorry,
it is like this generation's Oregon Trail.
Yeah, yes, thank you. It's like the Kanye
generation
of independent video games.
Yes.
So totally unlistenable?
You mean completely listenable in every way?
Yeah, totally.
Like Pablo. Like Pablo.
Godly, perhaps.
Life of Pablo is good. I won't lie about that. It's just whenever he speaks and it's not to a metronome, that's my problem. So Chris, just off of that, is this a guarantee for you?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a guarantee, but it's got like I love the way the graphics look. It's clearly inspired by like Star Trek and other. I even see graphics in there that look very similar to things from FTL. So you can tell that it's inspired by FTL. I think I would really love this game, and even the little characters look like little Starfleet guys. They look like they're on the bridge of like their own little ship.
It's a game. It's a catalog game. It's made for you, Chris.
I might put my name in this. Maybe it might be the game that brings me back in.
That's really close to the Starforge from KOTOR, isn't it?
It looks very
hanging out with your in-laws, Fred.
Or Starbound. Starbound is what I was thinking.
Starbound, yeah. So Kelly, this is pretty
much the same thing.
At the very least, this is probably you were immediately nodding. Or at least you were thinking of Life of Pablo. I couldn't tell. Is this something right up your alley here?
It is. I will admittedly say that I'm not very good at Faster Than Light. My girlfriend is much better and has unlocked every ship, where I have unlocked 2. But I do love those games. I do like the Oregon Trail-esque game, and there was a reason I said earlier that I feel like Faster Than Light is our generation's Oregon Trail, because I feel like when I'm just a little bit older and possibly having children, I'm gonna be hey, complete this crap. Yeah, you gotta try this game seriously.
I still play Oregon Trail, man. It's a great game.
No, I do too. But I'm saying what I mean
is
Faster Than Light is more. I know, right? Or Faster Than Light is more accessible for this generation and the one.
Yeah, it's a more built-out game. Yeah.
That I feel like that was part of its popularity.
And the soundtrack is unbelievable.
Yes, Ben Prunty making that soundtrack.
Yes, well placed. I actually downloaded that soundtrack.
I did too, and
I'm so glad that you guys.
You're like the brother that I separated at birth.
This trailer has brought people together. I think that's the best part.
So my point is, this game kind of has a mixture of a lot of things I like. It has kind of turn-based battles, which look really fun when you're little space cadets. It has the FTL ship battles. It kind of looks like, and then another thing here, it has kind of that Fallout 4, the Fallout Shelter app. It has that aspects too, which is super fun. And I think those three together are a really great game.
Well, I mean, to be fair, modes and methods in other games don't always work together in the same game. Just based on the trailer.
Be very messy sometimes.
Yeah, just based on the trailer,
genres can be messy. Excuse me.
Yeah. I am kind of a fan of the art design. I'm a fan, like I said, of the way that the ships look. They look kind of like Star Trek got together on a drunken bender with Mass Effect's Reapers, and then decided just to have a little bit of fun over the weekend. And I think this is just what kind of came out. Allison, what are your thoughts? And then we're gonna move forward.
I was gonna say that. I mean, when I first saw this trailer, I was the same. I thought Star Trek immediately. Even the little uniforms that they're wearing is very Star Trek-y, and I'm a big fan of FTL, of course. But honestly, what kind of grabbed me was the art on it. I love this style that they have, and I don't know. It looks like a pretty fun game.
Okay. I think we have almost an overwhelming opinion in the call, but in the chat, say yes, say no. This is your chance to actually look into it. I would personally like to follow up on Fred's opinion. I would actually like to get a dev talk with these fellas, to be honest with you. I'd love to know how everything went with the Kickstarter, obviously successful, but I'd like to know more about that, because we also do like to talk to devs about the industry itself and give you guys kind of a peek behind the curtain. It's not all about screaming at fans on Steam Greenlight or screaming at them in Steam forums. It's not all about trolling unless it's about trolling. Moving on, we're going to get to the next one. The next game is called CounterAttack. And Kellogg, if we got your attention.
Yes.
Tell us about CounterAttack, not about you.
All right. CounterAttack is a scrolling space shooter with unique and interesting levels. I love it when they say their games are interesting. Earth is under attack. The automations, humanity's own creation, have rebelled. The automations, yes, humanity's own creation have rebelled. They will stop at nothing short of the complete destruction of their former masters. There is but one hope, the experimental space fighter program. CounterAttack is a side-scrolling space shoot-'em-up. Shmup. Team up or fight solo, 1 to 2 player local or 1 to 4 players online co-op. Unlock upgrades, use powerful ultimate abilities, enhance your ship the way you want, and save Earth from annihilation. Over to you,
Caitlin.
Dead Sean likes to get stuff done. Game design, art, marketing, story, he's probably overworked. MC Avidity has worked in indie game, music, and design with various projects. He's now turning his ear to RS CounterAttack. Pink Plum has worked with mods and some small Unity projects in the past. She's now helping with game design and quality assurance.
It was already said in the chat. Raiden Project, side-scrolling Galaga. Caitlin, you actually said that. I love this genre, but we've got it.
I'm a Shump fan myself.
Yeah. The problem is we've already got it.
Space again.
Yeah, it's space. I hate space.
It's like we're forgetting it's space.
Do we have anything that's not space? Stylo. Whoever put this thing together. Paris, tell me something.
Yes, I put it together, and there are some non-space games.
It was Dan made the list, but yeah, we can blame.
I did not make the list.
Kelly, damn it!
You can only blame me for text.
It hurts me so. Usually it's Stylo that does this because he likes to see me pissed off and ranting. Paris, what are your thoughts on yet another space shooter?
Well, okay, the last time I defended a space shooter, which was, I think, 6 weeks ago, maybe, but on the show, was that, if it has interesting bosses or unique mechanics or something, then sure, yeah, it's addition to the genre, innovation, something unique and such. But, like, I was immediately put off when I saw the first boss that showed up was just a bigger version of the red and black ship that we saw just, like, a couple seconds earlier. And it doesn't seem to be like much in the way of development here. Besides the whole, oh hey, you can have other ships join you, and that's how your firepower gets up here. That was nice, but not particularly it doesn't stand out very much.
Allison.
Honestly, I find it a little boring. It's sort of a game that I'd play on my phone in the subway, but it's not really a game that I would sit down and play. It looks like a game that I've played over and over again before. And as Paris said, the bosses don't even look very exciting. They don't seem to bring anything new to the gameplay aspect of it. Not even the weapons are kind of like guns. Like I mean, I think I see a grenade somewhere there that you can put, but I just.
Somewhere there's a grenade. I think that's an indie album, isn't it? A while ago, I did a review for the site because I apparently hate writing, or because I don't see games that I like to review. But I remember Skyforge was a game, and that was a vertical scrolling shooter, and that was a mobile game that was ported over to Steam, and I was really, really happy with it. But here's the problem. This is screaming mobile to me. And before I get to my apparent Sean Hannity to Mike Holmes on this subject, I really don't feel like this is something we need to cover on OPN. Not because we're elitist, but because we are. But because we've seen it a lot of times before, and I feel like this is just a port. Fred, are you going to tell me I'm wrong on this one?
No, absolutely not. Totally agree. Just for me, it's one word. It feels sluggish. It's just sluggish for the type of game it is. And should we cover it? No, yeah, I don't think so.
I actually kind of have to agree. For a space shooter, it feels really, really slow. Eli.
So I mean, I'm a fan of a lot of old shmup games like Phalanx. For all the times that I brought that crap up. But I don't know, this doesn't look like it really, like you said, it doesn't like it provides anything innovative. But I find it funny that at the end they show the 3D modeled ship, and it's like, that's not even used in the game. What are you doing?
I know.
Maybe it's a bonus. Maybe they'll put it out like No Man's Sky. They'll just put out a collector's edition with a physical ship, even though the game itself hasn't been released yet, which I'm actually looking forward to really, really hard. Just saying. So I think we're actually going to move on. I think it's an overwhelming meh. So we're just going to move on.
And it's not significant. It's just not significant.
It's very blah. Very blah.
It really is. And watch this become the next Minecraft, because we're all saying no on this one. Because that's just how it, guys. It's going to be the next Undertale. I said it. A game with no redeeming quality whatsoever. But move
on. I get nervous.
I know. So we're going to move on to the next one. Stealth Labyrinth, which is a great title. Chris, tell us about Stealth Labyrinth.
All right, Stealth Labyrinth. Stealth Labyrinth is a first-person shooter video game based on stealth mechanics. You wouldn't say. In a sci-fi labyrinth, the player must proceed room after room, finding the right way until the end, before the time is out and everything explodes. Everything. Many droids patrol the dark corridors. Laser barriers need to be passed, lights need to be destroyed to reach the darkness. Many doors must be opened, but not all. A final button must be pressed. The player is in a tight situation where he needs to move, hiding himself, shooting around the corner with an exiguous number of bullets and few minutes to escape. Over to you, Caitlin. Sorry, that description was just too weird.
Caitlin, what can you tell us about this thing?
The developer says, I and everybody now involved work on Wayward as a part-time hobby. Because I found a couple new guys to help me on the project.
Labyrinth.
Beta 2.0 has taken a lot longer than I thought. We have scrapped most of the old code. We have brand new rendering engine, new graphics.
Caitlin, I'm sorry, but you're on the wrong one. We want Stealth Labyrinth. It's
Oops, that's Wayward. My bad.
It's below. It's Reddoll.
Rewind the man select.
Reddoll SRLS is an innovative startup in the area of video games. Founded in 2014, it is managed by a team of professionals with broad experience in computer graphic and information technology. The mission of the company is the development of video games for personal computers and next-generation consoles. They are not Wayward.
Yeah, this is not next gen.
It's really funny. And I really hate to agree with Fred, but I saw this game way, way back on Sega Genesis and the Master System.
Can I want to butt in here. Can I just say, like how many times do the PR team on these trailers just pretty much ruin the very little potential a game has by completely taking it in a different dimension that like wasn't even what we were hoping for, anticipating. I mean, we're not like excited about this game because it might be played on next gen, or we're not excited about this game because it's a team of vets from the like we're excited because I think there's something to be excited about this game. But it's and I think something significant. I think we should cover it actually because there's I don't know. Are you guys doing the same thing I am? It's not. It is also sluggish in many ways, but it's also interesting. Like in the game mechanics and kind of the ambience and the way the gun is so stiff and angular and walks around. I get emotions just watching him creep through those metallic halls. I don't know, like, is it another 6 out of 10 as a final score? Maybe, probably. But I don't know. Something tells me like there's might be something there.
I feel like at some point, and this is going to sound really bad, and this is probably not going to be well received, but I feel like there are parts of the trailer where they sped up the action. Kind of like Gearbox did with Aliens Colonial Marines. I feel like there's a couple of scenes that are kind of sped up. It feels sluggish to me, much like what Fred is saying. And again, like I said, I saw this back on blast processing with the Sega Genesis and Zero Tolerance. Also, in a number of other games. Hell, I saw this on the Atari Lynx, for crying out loud. I don't feel like this is something that is going to be a big deal. There are certain points that look kind of fun. It looks like I'd play it for a little bit, but man, I just don't feel anything from this. We've seen so many awesome games from indie developers. This just kind of feels phoned in. Anybody have an opinion on this at all?
Solarix.
Oh, we don't talk about.
Don't even get me started on Solarix.
Chris, you loved Solarix, if I remember.
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in. The Vive and Oculus logos were at the end of that trailer. I don't know if anyone caught that. It said it was developed for Oculus and Vive, so I think it's about to come around again right now. What I'm saying is kind of right, where you're going to get a lot of these games that are suddenly just built for Oculus, for these virtual. And I'm already seeing confusion in chat. There are people that don't know if this is, is it only in Oculus or Vive? You don't have to have VR to play it. Do you play it in first person on a normal computer? Now, I happen to know that you can that you can play almost VR played normally. But most people, I think, don't know that. And even still, I can't say with certainty that you could play this without an Oculus. So I just think that there's a problem here with the marketing. I know they're using Vive and Oculus to like try to promote their games, but I think what they're doing is creating a lot of confusion. That's just my 2 cents.
Is it wrong for me to want to see the Virtual Boy library on Oculus?
Get out of here! Stop! No.
Actually, it's been done, and you can do it. You can. I think I talked about how I played Metroid Prime and Zelda and Smash Brothers in VR, and it was a pretty odd experience, but it was cool.
But you should play the Virtual Boy version of Waterworld for a 24-hour stream just for.
If I can find the virtual boy copy of that and play that, I will. Just for you, Steve.
That's great. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of VR. Not because I don't have the hardware, not because, as one representative actually put it, the only people that don't like VR are the people that can't afford it, which, wow, lucky. Damn.
Yeah.
That's some harsh stuff.
Everybody can afford that.
Just full disclosure, the only way I can afford my Oculus Rift is by splitting it with a good buddy of mine here. I'm actually sharing my Rift with someone else.
It's called if you want it, you can get it. It's called a credit card. This is America. Come on. If you want it, you can get it.
And that's coming from a Frenchman.
Yeah, that's coming from the socialist guys. Like the whole thing about the price outrage.
Not all of us make like those purchases, Fred.
Every piece of press that talks about VR marketing goes back to the price of the whole damn thing. Like $500-$600. It's normal. Like that's not.
This is the thing. It's
only relevant. What you think you were going to spend like $199? What type of an experience were you going to get out of that? Like there's technology.
This is where it's relevant. Is that you can buy a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation VR for $800. No. But if you want the VR experience on a PC, you have to spend $3,000.
Yeah, you do.
And that's if you want any experience on the PC done right, you have to spend $3,000.
Yeah, that's you know what? You won't find any argument out of me.
If you want 60 frames per second on Dark Souls 3, you have to spend $3,000.
Well, actually, if you want 60
every
frames per second,
2
you have
years,
to turn off SLI, right?
Well, PC gamers know about money spending.
That almost like strengthens Chris' argument because
Steven, you're
for someone,
that one.
For someone, I spent like a good amount. I spent a good amount on my computer, and to invest literally another $600 on a VR set, which in my opinion is kind of like a console at this point, it just seems
a stretch.
Silly to me. No, it is. You set it up in your room. There's a little thingy you put on your face, and then you have to hook up your computer. I mean, I
don't like the setting. I agree with you. I don't like the.
I just want to get to the point where we have people physically walking around with VR headsets on.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, just think. I just watched the movie.
Yeah, haven't you seen the Gear VR?
And little hologram games.
But it's not expensive, is all I'm saying. I don't think it's expensive. Let's move on from that.
It's not unreal. It's not unrealistic.
I wouldn't want to spend any less. I wouldn't want to spend any less because then I would doubt the experience.
Fred, let me put it this way.
Wait a second.
It has to be priced in a way that makes it attractive. And I guarantee you, even the marketing people on teams will tell you, if we put it at $299, people will think this is a piece of shit.
Although people are saying it's a piece of shit because it's $600,
I mean,
mostly because
they can't even make enough of them. It's a supply and demand issue. They can only make so many, and enough people want them that they could sell them at almost any price, and they would still sell them all.
Although at the same time, Fred, I honestly think to pitch your show, your pirate show, your one that happens every once in a while, that happens on iTunes and can be found through iTunes.
Caitlin just had a baby.
Caitlin did just give birth on the show.
Caitlin gave birth on the show. Caitlin, you never see
reality is insane.
Did you want a cat book? Huh? You did your cat book?
That's great. Awesome.
This is my nephew.
Oh.
We apologize to him in advance for the exposure to us.
Yep.
This is a cheap ploy to get people to donate to Patreon, isn't it? Yeah.
Hey, we should move on now because
we are going to move on. We are going to move on, but I really do think that
dives right back into that VR conversation.
We should get back to this VR conversation because I feel like we're going to do it at least one more time.
Yeah,
we should have a show on it. We should just have a show on it.
That's what I was about to say, but you decided to cut me off when I was trying to prep your show, man. I think this is something that you really should do for your show. your pirate show, where you can get all your opinions out, maybe get a couple of VR-only devs. And
well, it just shows how little you know and understand about my show, Steven. My show is on early access. It's all about OPN Essentials. It's all about early access. It shows how little connected you are to my life.
I try not to be connected to your life. I mean, Tuesdays are enough. But yeah, so it's on early access. So that means that occasionally the audio will cut out and you just won't, you'll have to pay for more aspects of it. Is that how early access works?
It's a great show.
Okay, that's fair. So we're going to get on to the next one, Baby Money. Yeah. We're going to get on to the next one.
I just wanted to note that Stitch officially offered to babysit for you, Kaylin. Just wanted to say that Stitchwood will babysit.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Of course, after all the giveaways Stitchwood got, of course.
He's on the long side of the country.
Baby, because he would want more giveaways.
Oh yeah, he owes you.
Give the other 3 that he was supposed
Maybe
to get.
Maybe you could pay him CD keys.
That's right. So we're going to get on to the next game. It is called Wayward. Chris, tell us about Wayward. And she totally would.
They're a small team.
Yes. Wayward is a turn-based top-down wilderness survival roguelike. In Wayward, there is a large focus on simulation, survival, and openness. There are no classes. There are no levels. Progression of your character depends on individual skill and stat gains by your interactions with items or objects in the world. You are free to play and explore the game in any fashion you wish. Wayward will continue to grow, expand, and evolve over time to open up new modes of play, add depth and complexity, add content, and further refine the systems presented. You are free to come along for the ride as we try to make this game a truly unique experience through our iteration and through your feedback. They're going to iterate the shit out of that game. All right.
They are going to iterate the shit out of it. Caitlin, do you want to have the child read, or should you?
Yeah, well, he's not that big
probably play the game.
I and everybody now involved work on Wayward as a part-time hobby. Because I found a couple new guys to help me on the project, Beta 2.0 has taken a lot longer than I thought. We have scrapped most of the code. We have a brand new rendering engine, new graphics. We have fully featured modding system support through Steam Workshop, and a lot of things were rewritten. This is on top of the massive changelog of other new features / changes and fixes. That's a weird way to introduce yourself.
Well, they're directly admitting that there's more stuff to do, and this is how,
a lot of explaining to do.
This is how Kelly feels about this game. He honestly just got up and walked away. So I think that kind of tells us his opinion.
Actually, I'll be right back.
And Fred's leaving too. So we're just dropping off. Okay,
well, fuck this.
So here's the thing about this: we couldn't actually find an official legit trailer. This is actually Beta 1.3, and I only say that because I'm the one that threw it on the spreadsheet, because nobody else could find it. So
wait, I did find the trailer. Actually, that was the thing that's hilarious. If you go to Wayward's website, the trailer's on the website. You overwrote the trailer that I put in.
Which is funny because it actually said on the spreadsheet that I saw that couldn't find one. So maybe that was an old version.
Yeah, whatever. Version control sucks.
Anyway, the point is basically, I have never been more bored out of my life than what I'm watching now. Am I wrong in saying that, Chris?
So I think the most interesting thing I've seen so far about this game were the graphics on the menu screen. That's like the most appealing part of this to me so far. It's like the menu screen looked lush and like got me really excited, and then you just like see this and you're like, wow. There better be some of the most impressive gameplay elements I have ever seen to warrant graphics this simple.
Like I know I'm trying to be as and as impartial, not this show, as humanly possible, but I think Sword and Keyboard has it right down the chat. By the way, hi again. Good lord, this could have been Atari 2600, or maybe it could have taxed the 5200. And he's got a dog now, so I think that beats Caitlin. I think dog beats baby anytime.
Nothing beats Catbug. Right? No cats, not real cats, not dogs, not babies.
My dog's name is Samus, so
he wins.
Oh, you named your dog Samus? Wow, you really are my soulmate.
Oh my god, I tried to name my cat Samus, but she ended up being too stupid, so I named her Bean.
Aww. Well, I've noticed that when I play Metal Gear Solid 5, whenever D-Dog is on screen, my own dog just pays attention. He just stands there and stares at it. So there's that. But okay, Allison, what are your thoughts on the thing that we're seeing? Are we just out of left field in saying that this is just kind of eh?
Honestly, I would play this game,
Donate
but
to Samus,
I
by the way,
really.
guys.
What's up?
Donate to Samus and the cat guys down the chat. But anyway, go ahead, please.
I like repetitive I played a game for a while called Worm, which was like a boring version of Minecraft. And I really enjoy the repetitiveness of those kind of games, but I don't think that this is going to be something that people other than Allison would enjoy. I think that the art is kind of lazy. I'd like to see just more happen in it, I guess, before I would make even. I don't even think I'm seeing enough here to be able to make a good analysis of what the game would be like. He's just sort of walking around.
Am I seeing God rays in a game where there's really no sunlight? The fanciest thing I'm seeing from a graphical standpoint is probably the shadow. And I don't know if I feel. Again, I don't want to sound harsh about it, but man, we've just seen so many wonderful indie games, even some games done by one person. I'm just so underwhelmed by this thing. Fred, please tell me I'm right.
It's very quick. Why is he so far? I don't know if it's been said already, but because I was out. But why is he so far? And no, just no.
Just no. Just out of.
This is everything that Fred hates about video games.
It's lazy. No.
Okay, so yeah.
What about? I want to hear what Paris has to say.
I don't know if it's lazy. Really it's not just. It's not early access stuff. It's just no. It's not ready for review.
So Paris, what's your thoughts, man? Awesome. I want to sit like that from now on.
Yeah. So that was fun. I think I just had a flashback to those old Zelda games, but you're playing in the overworld 100% of the time. And
too, isn't it?
Okay, look, I played Crashlands earlier, and I enjoyed that like a couple weeks ago. Crashlands, which is sort of the same game in that you walk around and you put floors and walls down and hit stuff for massive damage. But this was like everything too long. Like there was that section at the end where he's building a square house, where I think he took like 6 trips back to wood. And then build it, and like it was fast forwarded, and it's still
those trips, man.
Too long to make a square. Why is it taking so long to make a square house? No, boo.
Next time.
Right.
Well put, man. Well put.
I think Paris is pretty much the definitive one. We're not going to get into the Sony memes. Oh no, we're not going to do that.
It should only take like, so much work to put together something. No, I think he makes a good point. Sorry.
Do you want to scream Ridge Racer before we get to the next one?
No.
Okay. Thank you. We're gonna get to the next one. Cornerstone. The
Alison was gonna say something.
She was. Go ahead. I thought we were gonna move on, but
it looks like a crappier version of sort of Don't Starve a little bit to me. Like it just looks like it's. That's all I was gonna say. It wasn't anything profound. I didn't mean to stop the conversation.
Yeah, Fred, you missed.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the comment.
You missed all the profoundness while you were gone. We had dogs and cats, and they were living together.
I'm sure that's why I left.
Yeah, I figured as much. So the next game is Cornerstone, the Song of Tyrim. Chris.
Alrighty. Cornerstone, the Song of Tyrim. Action role-playing, puzzle-solving, and crafting combined in this sprawling open-world fantasy epic, which invites you to take on a range of sweeping quests, battle unforgettable adversaries, and experience the adventure of a lifetime. An interactive physics-based world of wonder, bursting with colorful characters and exotic islands filled with tricks, traps, and treasures to explore awaits your conquest as you gather fantastical artifacts and equipment, which can be crafted into playable vehicles and more. That was a long sentence. It's been weeks since anyone last saw the Viking men of the village of Borgia, and young Tyrim is determined to set forth and find them. Wielding his crafting and combat skills, you'll set sail on the Mad Goat across the seas to uncover the world of Nygard's mysteries. collecting fabulous relics, uncovering forbidden secrets and magic, and ultimately challenging an ancient and unstoppable evil as you quest to bring the Vikings home. Over to you, Caleb.
Wow. Also, before we do that, Fred, check the chat in Skype, since you haven't said anything yet. Caitlin, go on with the description.
Okay. We're a young indie team from Sweden. Making games has always been our passion, and we've gotten more serious and growing ambitions. Creating Cornerstone, the Song of Tyrim, is making us more excited than ever. We don't have too much in our backpacks, but we think we can create awesome games with today's technology and a sharing community.
That's a good background, in my opinion.
We can do it with the spirit of friendship.
I mean, really.
It's kind of a little bit Captain Planet. When our fun.
Oh yeah, but without heart.
Actually, all 5 of them have heart, and they don't have.
God.
One of them has cel-shaded.
Is anybody else?
One of them has a cell.
I think this is the first time we've seen a University of Phoenix Online logo on a game trailer.
Oh, God.
Can I just throw that out there? I'm not trying to down it. I'm really
Would you
not.
rather
I think
have
that's
in your
exciting.
game VR logo or the University of Phoenix logo?
You know,
if you had to choose between two, you might as well just go with both.
Which one are you gonna? I'd probably pick the VR logo personally.
Is there
a
a revolver as a choice? Can I pick that? Can I pick like Russian? Can I pick like Russian roulette on that one?
Can we talk about this game?
Yeah, let's talk about this. I remember seeing it when it was Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, guys. Anybody else getting a bit of a Wind Waker vibe here?
Or an Ocean Horn
vibe? Which was also Wind Waker.
Yeah, Ocean Horn was very fun, though, I have to
Which,
admit.
by the way, I did review Ocean Horn. If you want to check it out, it's on OPNoobs.com. Unless Brett get up there yet.
Like that. Actually, I think it is. I think it is up there, but you have to scroll down in the archives. It is buried. Oh, that thing is buried.
I was really, really nice to the developers, Corn, Fox, and Brothers, by saying that in the first 5 words that it was a shameless rip of Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And it wasn't even the HD version.
You gave it a great score.
I did, because it was still fun. However, this monstrosity, and I think the Nintendo fanboys and girls of this group are going to agree, Fred probably won't. My God. I will look forward to seeing Nintendo cease and desist this thing into oblivion. Am I the only one that's saying that? And that's not only because Tyrim is really close to Skyrim. Fred, you're going to disagree with me. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, not at all. I don't think that chance even it couldn't happen at all. I think Nintendo doesn't have a monopoly on anything that looks and feels like Zelda. Zelda has defined a genre of thousands and thousands of games. No, you can't, even if you wanted to legally. It's public domain now.
I don't know. Oh no! Not according to the
domain, but you're right. You're right and wrong.
Yeah, not according to the fan, which I'm not even going to get into that.
But I think we should cover this.
But I think Nintendo is totally in the right to go after games that literally rip.
Okay, that's preposterous. Like, this is preposterous. That if they did, they would be ridiculous.
Oh no, I don't think it's right for them. It would be very silly if Nintendo went after them for making this game.
Of course.
I think the bigger point is that it's unoriginal.
Really yeah. Okay.
I think a bigger aspect of this is it's unoriginal.
Okay. Not an original. It's
really?
I mean, it's literally taking tools from Wind Waker and just reusing them, like from that game.
Hold on,
but it makes for a fun. Steven said it himself. That can make for a fun game, even if it's shameless.
It can make for a fun game, but there's a point where even the most fun game, when it looks almost exactly, you change.
Hold on, Steven, let's just back up a second though. We're gonna talk. We gotta talk about.
It's very polished.
We got to talk about like cel-shaded games though, and cel-shaded games had been around for a while before Wind Waker came out. Now, arguably, Wind Waker was the best cel-shaded game that came out at its time, but at the same time, they certainly don't have a monopoly on that genre. And I would say that this game does bear some similarities to Wind Waker without question. It is an adventure game. It does have some cel-shaded graphics, and I do look at one of these towns, and I got to say, yeah, that's clearly inspired by Zelda. But other than that,
Dragon Roost Island.
Yeah, it does. It does look a little like Dragon Roost Island. But I gotta say, I bet Wind Waker came out like what? I think in 2004.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
2002.
But look at that skeleton, man. Is that not a Stalfos, or is that not a Stalfos?
I mean,
Nintendo aspect.
I see it, but at the same time, there's no game like this really for PC. And, maybe this exists for GameCube, but this doesn't really exist for PC. And so even though I know usually we slam clones, this is a game that probably doesn't exist on PC quite like in this form.
So that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's all I've got. That's all.
A game like this doesn't exist
hurt.
currently.
Wait, but I don't want you, Steven. It's impossible to ignore the similarity. You're right. It's impossible to ignore the similarity between this and Wind Waker. You can't be.
To a point, I agree with Fred, but more with Chris. The thing is, there's a fine line between paying homage.
That's okay, since I agree with Chris. So
there's a fine line between paying homage to a game and outright not being original enough to make it your own. You can take bits and pieces. Any good artist borrows or outright steals from another company or from another artist, but they do that and they build upon it. This, to me, looks like it was nothing more than we wholesale copied some aspects and threw our own story into it, which is fine. But at the same time, you have to change at least 75% or 80% before I can legitimately take you seriously as anything other than a college try. Caitlin.
Okay, I have to say I disagree with you all. And on the premise, maybe it does look similar to Zelda Wind Waker, but the time at which Zelda Wind Waker came out, the reign of GameCube and PS2 era, all games looked like that cel-shaded sort of dude running around in a world that looked exactly like this. I don't think of it as a copy. I think of it as retro because I was 11 when stuff like that was coming out.
Okay.
And I think you guys are being too hard on it. You haven't played it. You don't know yet. And every time a cel-shaded game comes out, you guys say the same exact thing. Every time.
Not every time.
I just want to try you.
The only thing, look, I can see the Cursive Red Lion without the head on the boat. I can see the water textures are practically the same. I can see the skeleton textures are practically the same. I can see that the life bars are obviously different, but that seems to me the only thing. If I never saw the title, and if I never saw the intercut text, I would totally believe that this was another Legend of Zelda GameCube era game. That's what bothers me. I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay with paying homage. I'm okay with taking some aspects, but not this much. And with PC games and Steam Greenlight and GOG even, it's way too easy to outright copy another company. And I feel like that's what tends to happen. There's a difference between being inspired by and outright taking. And I'm not saying they're taking, but it really feels like it. I mean, they're... Anyway, Allison, am I totally wrong? Am I just talking? Or do I have any legitimacy? None?
Well,
okay.
I actually agree with Caitlin in a lot of the respects. For one, just the boat it seems to be a ram rather than a dragon. Which is a pretty. For one, I'm excited about Vikings. Like I really like that they're bringing in that, and that's something that Wind Waker didn't do. And I'm coming from the perspective of somebody who I love Zelda, and I thought Wind Waker was a fantastic game to play. And I think that if you start saying, like, if you're looking at everything that draws inspiration from Zelda and saying that it's a copycat, then you can just sort of eliminate a lot of these, like, dungeon plundering and adventure games. I mean, you could throw out Darksiders for that matter. Art is similar.
Does anyone else? Does anyone else feel like shedding a tear every time she says Zelda?
Yes. I wish I could make a little Triforce appear on my wrist every time.
Yeah, me too. Or my
seriously, man, it's just like so embedded in everyone.
You know what I mean, dude? Zelda, my favorite games of all time most of them are Zelda games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To be totally honest, if it weren't for Nintendo, we wouldn't really have an industry, and that's just true.
It's true.
That's totally true.
It would look very different, that's for sure.
honestly, I'm looking for more games like this in my I miss this so much that whenever it comes along, I really want to play it because I'd love to see this sort of formula that Zelda has done so well, and I want to see it done with a different developer, and I'd like to see how they.
Every other genre is allowed to evolve. Why can't this genre be allowed to evolve? Why is it immediately bashed at? I completely agree with Caitlin and Allison.
Also, I think what Allison said too was made a good there aren't games like this on PC. I remember the last game I can remember that was
suddenly becoming a PC gamer matters to you guys.
It matters, because you know what, the PC is
you've been singing the exact opposite tune for the past 6 months. Shame on Steven and Chris.
And I still don't regret a single word.
You've
but
saying a PC gaming doesn't mean anything. If it's a game on PC, it's a PC game. And suddenly it comes to Zelda and Nintendo. Holy Nintendo. We do not touch Nintendo.
He's just mad because Genesis lost. That's all it is.
It belongs to Nintendo.
Go ahead. Let Kellogg
I never said that. I never said
Fascists.
that. Okay. I mean, to be fair, I may have said that about Mario Kart. I never say that.
Sorry, enough sex affair with Nintendo.
But my point is this: you don't see games like this on PC enough, and I mean open-ended adventure games. I remember playing a game like Psychonauts was the last good platformer kind of adventure game I played on PC, and that was forever ago. And there aren't enough games of the Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, just Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, just these kind of platforming kind of games. You don't see them as often.
Because it's Nintendo and Sega. You guys always subtract that entire culture that happened at the same time you were Nintendo, and that very much had its things too. And you guys subtract Sega. But when it comes to pure Nintendo,
But I'm not talking about Nintendo as much. I don't mean Nintendo. I should really say console. This is a type of game that's predominantly a console. It's good to see on the PC, right? Everyone I think probably this is entirely represented on consoles. There's not enough of them on PCs. Anytime I see a game like this on PC, it makes me happy.
Are they on consoles? Because I'm not too familiar with what's going on.
Because this reminds me of
I really am not.
Consoles. This reminds me of Zeldas and the Marios and the I don't know. Anyway,
to answer Fred's question, are you asking if there's any of the games today that are on consoles as well?
I'm asking if this type of game comes out on consoles all the time.
Oh, all the time. All the time. This kind of
They re-released Wind Waker, 6 months ago? A year ago?
Yeah. Less than 6 months ago. It was a big thing. But, the truth of the matter is, we as PC gamers get so hosed when it comes to games coming to the PC platform. Mortal Kombat X, for example, we get Arkham Knight. We get all these wonderfully mismanaged and mangled ports all the time. And I really do like the fact that even though I talked it down, the fact is it's good that we're finally getting games like this on the PC that aren't just pixel, voxel, shade, shooter type things that we constantly see. This is a legit game that you would see on console and would probably do better and probably be more optimized on a PC. Kelly, and then we're going to move on.
This game, I do have to mention that, I would play this and review this. The reason I brought up Oceanhorn before is because I believe it was several of you have said that not a lot of games come to PC like this, and I disagree. I think there's lots of games that come to PC like this. And thirdly,
really? I can't name any.
He's kind of right.
He's right. Off the top of my head, I have Oceanhorn, and I just played Jotun and Hyperlight Drifter.
We saw.
These are like that. Okay.
We already had several Zelda conversations on this specific show, and I think we have a Zelda conversation at least once every 2 weeks. He's right.
Actually, once every week. To be true,
I guess I was really talking more about the cel-shaded kind of adventure stuff.
I like all cel-shaded stuff. I like that style. My point with this game, though, is that I do think it looks unoriginal. Interested to play it to see if it has its originality. We can only see from the trailer that they obviously got huge inspiration from Wind Waker. Yeah. That's kind of annoying as a Zelda fan, personally, for me. But I would still play it because it does at least look good. And if someone
and it scratches that itch, right?
Yeah, and if someone went through 8 hours of this game and then they're like, "Whoa, here's this part of it. Here's a new element to this game,"
which Robert will,
stuff.
Robert will, and you'll write about it.
He's already volunteered. Does it, Alice? And we'll get to the next one. Allison, your last thoughts.
The other thing that I see in it that's not so much in is there's quite a bit of a stealth aspect to it, like almost like a Solid Snake thing that I saw. He has like a board on his back while he's
box.
That would be even better. But I kind of like that idea, and that kind of brings it away from that. So yeah, I'd like to see the interpretation of, obviously it's inspired by a Wind Waker, and I'd like to see how they interpreted that style.
That's fair. That's fair. So we're going to move on to the next one. I think it's even though I sounded nasty at the forefront, the truth is I really want to see how this goes, and I really want to see what the review is going to be like. So I think it's an overwhelming yes. So we're going to move on. We've got 2 left. We've got Kings and Heroes. We're not talking about the ruling class of OPN. We're talking about the game Kings and Heroes. Chris.
The non-existent ruling class.
And for some reason, they're yelling their background. Go, Chris.
Yeah, no, they really are. Okay, Kings and Heroes. Create up to 6 individual characters per account. That's a big selling point. Choose from 6 different races, including Orc, Goblin, Human, Dwarf, Elf, or Halfling. You can then select your class, with each having a very distinct playstyle, either in group or solo. There are currently 5 classes: Champion, Ranger, Cleric, Wizard, and Rogue. Finally, customize your character with a variety of choices to make them your own. With hundreds of players in each world, you have plenty of company to explore by foot or on horseback. Yeah, you're going to explore your company. Discover towns, villages, ruins, ghost towns, high mountains, lakes, and valleys across varied environments. So explore varied environments across other varied environments. You'll travel in realistic day and night cycles with true weather effects. Be warned, many dangerous creatures inhabit the world, so an adventurer must always be prepared for a fight.
That's choppy framework.
I want nothing to do with that spider. I'm just going to say it right now.
Oh, man.
Caitlin.
Seen a mother truck and
IndustryGames
centaur.
is a privately funded game development studio located in sunny Gilbert, Arizona. Formed in February 2013, staffing began in November of that same year. The company itself is comprised of talented artists, programmers, designers, and engineers, many of whom have contributed to the development of notable AAA titles. We love games and are looking forward to launching our first title.
That was all in capitals, Caitlin. You were supposed to yell it.
You were supposed to
I will
scream it.
excuse it this time. I
Like
will
the warrior
excuse it this
princess
time,
we
though.
know you are. Fred.
Yep.
God help me. Fred.
Yeah, so if they come from the AAA studios, they should know deal something called 60 frames per second.
Ooh, yeah. He just said exactly what was on my...
Seriously, like, this choppy as hell. They're not passing in a trailer. Like, they're supposed to be putting the best footage on the best rig out front. Like, they're not passing 35 frames right there. It's at max. And
I remember playing Daggerfall.
That's a problem for this type of games, because this type of games already kind of emphasize pace, and at the same time they have a tendency to be slow-paced. With a choppy frame rate, I could see, and I'm being very skeptical, I think we should review this, but I can see how this is a choppy experience.
Actually,
from a trailer.
Fish Sin said it right. I love that. I love that handle. I love the idea of a sinful fish. He pretty much said everything that I was thinking, was that this was what Neverwinter was supposed to be until it turned into that MMO crap. This is what Neverwinter should have been. This type of thing. This is what we wanted, BioWare. This is what we wanted the whole time, but we never got. Allison.
Well, first, I guess the good stuff. I think that the bosses look cool as, like, I love...
Creatures
look like great bosses. They look like they'd be really fun to fight with, like, different ways to kind of go around it, strategies and stuff. Back to what Fred was saying, I definitely think that they had the sort of issue that a lot of developers have, where they try to fit their technology around the game that they have in their minds instead of fitting the game around the technology that they have at hand, which is sort of brings that choppiness to Magic. Because it looks like it's such a great idea. It looks brilliant to me, and I think that they probably have something really going for them, and they messed up by not killing their babies and allowing the technology to where the game is going.
Yeah, in the technical aspects of the games for Paramount in guaranteed quality, it's Paramount.
Can I just say that I cringe? Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I would totally play the game though. Like,
yeah, me too. It looks great. It looks great. I completely agree with what you said.
Situations where, as much as I prefer storyline over the look of a game, I'm sorry, but in a world where we have Dark Souls, that one shot of the character walking toward the camera and just like walking like he's got football pads on, there's just something wrong with that movement.
Have you played it, by the way, Dark Souls?
Dark Souls 3? No. Dark Souls in general, I have died many,
but you haven't touched the third episode.
I haven't touched the third episode because I started replaying the previous two, and I'm still getting my ass handed to me. So I'll get around to it, I promise. Tonight. Chris?
I kind of agree with the players that it's kind of like there's a lot of technical kind of show off going here. Like the graphics are really nice in some ways, and there are some really good character animations. But then, like what other people have been saying too, it's very uneven technically. Like I feel like the frame rate is slow, and some of the characters don't really look like they're glued to the floor. They're kind of like sliding across it, and so I think that they've got some things to work out. This alpha footage, the description was super basic. I mean, the 6 races are like very typical fantasy
Lord
world
of the
stuff.
Rings.
That was a little like warding off.
Yeah,
even the font of the trailer, if we can get pedantic a little bit, the font of the trailer, isn't that the same font for the Hobbit movie?
Mm-hmm. You know, it looks really and like the first thing they say in the description is that you can create 6 per account, and it's like it doesn't cost them any money. I mean, it costs them no money to store characters. You could start off with characters.
Why would there be a limitation?
Why is that even a selling point? And why is it the first selling?
But they're also 6. Are they like trying to address like you should make all 6 races?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then
you can have all 6 money, but you can't have 2 ultras.
Fair. This is that was taken from the online.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Last 10 minutes first.
We do have last 10 minutes. We do. So honestly, I hate to agree with Fred, but I kind of want to see where this goes as well.
I also say yes to this game.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna just say, and we're gonna go to the very last one. Don't you love it how we always make these things 2 hours? The last one is.
You hate it.
No, I actually like it. It means that
we've
got to start.
I like hanging out with you guys. Come on.
We get enough time to talk about everything, even though some people want to rush it along, Fred. So, that being said, before we get to the last trailer, Chris, real quick, what are we doing this week?
My friend, the Red Solstice Community Tournament. It's going to be viewable on Twitch. If you won't join, it's not too late. You can go online and sign up. Although
no, it's too late, Chris.
Yeah, I think it might be. Oh, hey, if you want to sign up, you goddamn bad. You missed it.
But seriously, it's a huge deal.
For you.
Let me finish the plug here. So it's going to be this weekend. It's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, 6 hours each day. We're going to be running the entire tournament. We're going to be doing interviews. There's going to be all kinds of entertainment to be had between the different games that are going on during the day. So please check on Twitch. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 6 hours each day. It's going to be awesome. Fred and I will be there. Our very own Steven Staniszewski will be hosting. It's going to be an epic event.
We're going to have Eli there to do the hula in between matches.
It's true, with his beard alone.
No one wants to watch my beard hula.
And I also
the microphone for some people to start clapping.
Eli, Giffy, and I are going to hang out and watch it, okay? We both.
No, and Kelly,
I'm also plugging in my mics, and this is going to be probably one of the most exciting weekends since we started this whole damn thing. esports for working with the partnership that we already have with Steam. Bringing the guys from the Thai community to compete against one another on a game that is Red Souls, which is, by the way, RS. The developer getting on the call with us, being part of the tournament, all our friends, partners, people that we've talked to, getting on call, getting the community people also to talk about how the community got ready and stuff. And I'm excited. I think it's a terrific effort, and this of work come. And I really ask anybody who can support us to kind of come on Twitch and join the effort, because it's good for the indie developers, indie studios. It helps them find a way to organize tournaments on an annual basis, working with their community. And it's also good for gamers as a whole, because if this thing continues to grow and we continue to build it step by step, stone by stone, we're actually giving a plug to PC gamers to compete on the indie scene in an organized manner, in a fashion that's similar to the esports scene that we see on AAAs. So I'm all for it, and I think thanks to everybody who's contributed to the effort for the past 9 months, because it's been a team effort internally for a long time. And we're very excited about this weekend, and I hope you join us. I'm done, Steven. Go.
Are you sure? The truth of the matter is, it's something that doesn't really get done in the indie scene. So this is, I don't want to say it's the very first of its kind, but it's certainly a first of its kind. We are partnering with the developers directly. This is an official tournament. This isn't just some weekend thing where like, no. This official, certainly licensed guys are coming right from the themselves, right from the pub, which happen to be the devs. Right from them, they're going to be part in just something that doesn't. We're not a community-driven community. The people that are involved for the moment are doing it because they actually like the game. It's a weird thing. Well. Not that happens. Just people come here to celebrate a game that they really, really enjoy and want to become very prosperous. And this is just something that we have no problem in backing. They came together, coming together. We're just
supporting
all coming together.
The communities. Yeah, exactly. I'm all for that.
We love those communities. Oh yeah. So we're gonna get to the last one. The last one, Weatherlord, which makes me sound like it's a RPG of the Weather Channel. Weatherlord, following the princess. Chris. What is this thing?
All right, unmuted. Now, Weatherlord, following the princess. The power of the elements is in your hands. Use them to claim your kingdom. As the heir to the throne of Flaywind, you set off on a journey to peacefully assume power. But all does not go as planned. Soon you find yourself battling a shadowy evil bent on taking what is rightfully yours. To prove yourself a worthy ruler, you must lead a small band of followers across 3 spectacular environments on a quest to find the source of the scourge. Along the way, you'll rebuild a devastated land, save your people from peril, and face off against an array of bizarre enemies. Your challenge will be learning to control the weather and employing it to your advantage. Use rain to replenish crops, thunder to remove obstacles, and wind to destroy ghastly creatures. Play clever and play quick, and victory will be yours in Weatherlord, the successor's path, a captivating time management epic. Sorry, I didn't expect that line there. Clever and play quick.
You really did. So, Caitlin, tell us about Big Fish Games.
Big Fish Games is the world's leading online destination for games and interactive entertainment. Based in Seattle, Big Fish Games works with more than 500 game developers, distributes over 1 million games per day to consumers worldwide. Download and play a new game every day at http://www.bigfishgames.com.
Thank you for throwing in the trademark. We want to make sure that if we're going to get sued, it's just going to be for slander and or libel. Fred.
So actually, all I say about this game is that I think it's very interesting for a very limited audience, which are kids. I could see how this game will have some value for parents who, oh my god, I'm getting old. I hate that I'm thinking that way, but I am. I think like if you got kind of a smart kid, you know, he's around the house and he's doing stuff, you can tell the kid's smart and he likes to pick his own brain. That'd be a good game to throw at him, and I think we should dismiss that. Like, and you'd probably have fun with it. So I'm all supportive of that, and I think that if we should review this thing, then the writer should be cognizant of that fact that is targeted for the audience. Like, not from reviewer that doesn't like novel stories. This is a different story. This has to be written as what in light of the market that it had.
Okay. So, any other thoughts, Allison? You're nodding away. Any thoughts on being based upon?
I mean, it's adorable. For one thing, I think the art is really. I felt a little bad for Fred saying that it was a kids' game because I would probably play this game.
And that's wonderful.
You know, Nintendo and Butterfly.
Just because it's a kids' game doesn't make
everything that's happy.
by any means.
If I feel that way about this game from it's because I personally find it endearing to.
Yeah, I think there's something refreshing about a nice, simple game, like really forward gameplay here. I've always wanted to be Storm from X-Men, so that helps a lot. And I think that it's I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's simple. I don't think that there's a lot of depth to it, which probably lends itself to a kid's game. And I think that if we do review it, that it should be kind of open to that. I think it could be fun, sort of.
Fun.
Yeah, it looks solid, I think.
I feel that this is a rip of Diablo's map screen.
This is hitting me so in your face, son.
Although I do feel like this would probably be more hardcore than Torment 4.
Man.
I don't know. It's not my jam. We've seen a lot of big fish games.
Disney porn. So many Starman or JK called it Disney porn.
Come on, when you see the ultimate Christmas, you're thinking
other than a porno movie.
I'm sorry, Addison.
So many Disney movie titles. Just look them up. They can go both ways.
Thanks for the
when you see someone accidentally pick up a copy of Pirates of the Caribbean and it's great.
That's actually Robert. Starman is Robert, so it's I hear it's called Disney porn. I just got that.
I was hoping
for all of you folks following along at home.
We're all talking like feeling of endearment. We're talking about our kids. Meanwhile, he's in the
do that, Fred.
Disney porn.
Big fish. I mean, that's a wonderful combo, isn't it? I think that is actually a porn. Pirate fish. Oh boy, Kellogg. Your thoughts?
That don't do, man. It's disturbing.
So like Big Fish Games, I think they're like one of those game companies that like our friend Chris Natsume used to work for. They're like just kind of like slugging it in all these categories that like they don't want, but they know sell well. And this is where I think this is one of those games where it's like, I think this might be a game, and like when you play it, you'll be like, yeah, I'm playing a game. But like this isn't really a good game, and it's not a unique game, and I don't see anything here that looks remotely compelling. I don't know if I'm the only one who's just like crazy or something, but I look at this and I'm like, this doesn't look like anything except just. I mean, your people are just walking around a board. It looks like a board game.
Okay, well, you're not 10 years old, though, Chris. You're not 10 years old. That's why you should write the review.
Is that the problem?
The problem that you're not 10 years old.
I mean, I appreciate the fact
on the top.
Caitlin's playing with a baby.
Caitlin's rocking out right now. And heading with child.
That game was on Nintendo. We didn't even budge.
Oh, but okay. So Big Fish Games again. Chris made a really good point. We talked to Chris Natsume, and he basically said this isn't a direct quote, but he hated every moment of his life when he was making those games.
He was making point-and-click adventures, even though they were games and they were selling well.
He accepted the fact that they sold, just like how with Hollywood, big name actors will do the popcorn film so that they can have enough money in the bank so they can do indie films. Big Fish Games is by and large, and this is going to sound bad, but this is like the 65 and older gamer casual site. And
Disney porn, exactly what Robert said.
This is just like Disney porn. It is also for the 65 and older casual.
I don't think that's a thing, guys. I just don't think that's a thing.
This is for the people that felt Caligula was too much compared to Debbie Does Dallas. Only on OPN will you talk booze and porn and Disney in the same breath.
And a 70s porn movie?
I like the classics. What can I say? So,
Our morning, I blame all.
Eli is getting uncomfortable, guys. We should.
He is. So anyway, let's get back to it.
Christian.
I feel bad about that. I apologize. I agree.
He's a fervent Christian.
I thought he was midnight.
Fred.
The truth of the matter is, let's not get into that. The truth is, this is not necessarily a game that anybody that goes to OPN might actually pay attention to. True, it's not our usual fare, but I think this is good for kids. And I think this would be entertaining for kids, maybe of the 5 to 10-year-old subset.
Yeah, 6. My kids are not anything close to dealing with that. Yeah, 6.
That's fair. That's fair. Eli, since we haven't heard from you in a little bit, what is your thought on Big
on the game, Eli? Not on my comment.
His comments is obviously not.
Fred, you need to stop calling me Christian. I'm not. Anyway, I don't know the game. I think everybody said anything I could say about it. It looks like a little kid's board game. I don't know. I wouldn't play it.
Yeah, we usually keep the best for last, so I don't know what Steinomax was smoking, but.
Actually, so this list wasn't ordered this week. I just took the list off the email, and they were like, "Here's 10 games," and it wasn't given to me in any order.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine.
So what I did is I said last.
Okay, because Steinomax is the best for last.
Yeah.
Best. Yeah. This is the best, Chris.
No,
this was the best.
Like we have this week.
Thanks, Stephen, for hosting the show. Close it quickly. I actually do want to give a big shout out to Steinomax because he's the guy you never see. He's the guy that actually.
None of us know what he looks like.
Yeah, no, well, I do.
He's really handsome.
Quite a few of us know, and Steinomax literally does all like work to put this thing together every single damn week, and that also includes because these shows do end and on YouTube and on the old trailers as well. We publish our trailers based on our you can find the link from the website. And guess who does all of that every single week? To the CIA and gets absolutely no credit because nobody knows who did it. And we are very appreciative for it. So thanks, Taito. That was just wanted to say thanks. I'm done.
Well, I think he's bothered because Ulti just popped in and said that we're stuttering some hardcore. Nobody else has said it, so maybe it's just Ulti. Let's blame Ulti. So that being said,
there were a couple of other people in the chat that were saying.
My brother
Paradox mentioned it
a little while ago and said it's been stuttering.
Oh, well, see, that just ruins everything now, doesn't
I don't know. I'm watching right now, and it's not stuttering. Maybe that's me.
You've ruined Christmas.
How dare you ruin the Christmas surprise?
I told you he was Christian. I told you he was Christian.
You don't have to be Christian to like Christmas.
Before we insult even more of our fan base, I'm going to end it.
I was going to say.
And we're going to stop this. So next weekend, not next weekend, this weekend, we're going to have the Red tournament. So Catbug, one last time, could you tell us about that tournament now? And then we'll close this out.
This weekend
Okay, I can't do this. I'm sorry. This weekend.
You're not even doing the voice right.
I know. I was trying really hard. I was like,
I was
Brownie, but only after they cooled down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying. All right. Anyways, this weekend we got the Red Solstice Community Tournament. It's going to be 6 hours on Saturday, 6 hours on Sunday. 8 teams competing for the medal of world champions of, actually it's community champions of the Red Solstice. They're going to be receiving also some like very special prizes. So I know they're going to be fighting super hard for those. So it's going to be a competition. I hope you guys come watch it. It'll be on Twitch, twitch.tv, OPNoobs online. Also, just all there. Of course, please follow us on our various channels as well. Twitch is a great place to get updates about content. Patreon's a great place to throw us money if you'd like to throw us some money. Use your and in general, just check us out on Facebook and YouTube because we're always there. And come again next week on the short show next Tuesday. I think as much plugging as I could possibly do.
I think that's all the plugging got without doing the micro machines.
I think my abs plugging too hard.
I think it's time for jazz hands.
Sunday.
Absolutely. So check us out on the web. Check it here. Hopefully, if you don't donate to Patreon, we can get a stream that doesn't stutter. So let's just go.
Come on, Steve. Arms getting tired.
Everybody, OPNoobs, everybody out in the chat, thanks for joining us.
I know, but style jazz hands are not jazzy
He's doing the Numa thing.
That's the hammer flogging.